Today we're talking blush and bronzer, so if you want this tutorial, stick around. This quite literally has become a deconstructed makeup tutorial. I started by showing my foundation, what I have on today. It's the House Labs, and I've just been loving it. If you are middle-aged, have dry skin, and are looking for like medium to full coverage, it is stunning, all right? I feel like it looks like I have a filter on, and I swear to God, I do not. So that's how I started. I started talking about my foundation and the concealer. Then a comment I kept getting was about my eyeshadow. How did I do my eyeshadow? So then I came back and I did an eyeshadow tutorial showing you how I used my bronzer and a highlighter to create an eyeshadow look. And then I kept getting questions about my blush and my bronzer. So I picked this comment out of the few. She said, I have this bronzer and I just can't apply it without it looking crazy because it's so pigmented. She said, can you do a video with bronzer and blush, please? Okay, this is very pigmented. So if you are struggling with a powder bronzer, I recommend using a cream. This is fabulous, but it can be very pigmented and it can be harder to blend, where a cream is much more blendable. So let's do that together today. So I'm going to be using the Cream Bronzer by LYS, which I actually just learned that LYS stands for Love Yourself, and quite frankly, I love that. So this is in the shade Harmony, and it comes like this, and it is so creamy. So this is how I place mine. I put a little up here, I put a little bit down here. This is not rocket science. And then I personally go down a little bit because I want this to look a little bit more chiseled, make my face look a little skinnier. And then if you have any like double chin or anything, you can always add some under here also. And then I do a little bit under my lip to make them look a little fuller than they are. And then also just a tiny little bit on the sides of my nose. Then I go in with a contour body brush like this. I just think this makes it super easy, and you just blend it in. Now, prior to putting this on, all I had on was my moisturizer, my foundation, and some concealer. That was it. So my face is still damp, right? I haven't set it with any powder because I want all my creams to go on first before I apply any powders. And then I just kind of go back and kind of blend up like this because I want to leave this space bright, okay? And then you just keep blending it in. And like I said, this stuff is just super creamy and blendable. It makes it super easy. It adds nice color to your face now that the sun is leaving me and I'm losing my tan. And it adds a little bit of contour, gives me a little bit of chisel. Like that. And it's okay if it's not completely perfect because now I'm gonna go in with my blush. Same thing, we're sticking with all the creams. This is by Pixie, and this looks really bold, but don't be afraid. This is in shade Ruby, and I just take it and add it to my cheeks, like that. Then I take my blush brush and just kind of stipple that in. And then it kind of melts right into that bronzer, so there's no like harsh line between the blush and the bronzer. And then I like to go up a little bit to give my face a little bit of a lift. I try not to go in too far close to my nose. And I just think it's stunning. See how much more color that added to my face? Then once you got all your color on, then you can go in and set it. I'm using the One Size setting powder. And this stuff is just really nice. And I just kind of go on and gently pat it where I don't want to have so much shine. Anywhere you normally get like any creasing, this is really gonna help. And there you have it. That is one of my favorite ways to apply bronzer and blush if you're having a hard time getting it to blend and make it look a little bit more natural, but still adding really pretty color and pigments to your face. So I'm gonna go ahead and link all of these products I use down below if you wanna pick any of them up for yourself. But if you have any other questions, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a fabulous day.